What is up, y'all? We are back with another one, okay? So today we're going to be reacting to another Mike Korzemba video. I hope I'm saying his name right. I've never seen a trade fall apart like this in the NBA. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's go ahead and put the playback speed at 1.25. If you guys are new to my channel, I make basketball content. I make drama content. That's just my shit. That's what I do. If you like someone that's going to make you laugh on drama, I'm your guy. If you like someone that's going to make you laugh on basketball, maybe, I'm your guy. So go ahead, give me a like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate and love y'all. Discord's right here. And let's get this shit started.
Boy, now we've got Nurkic and Najee Marshall as Marshall leaned back and threw a punch at Nurkic.
Ridiculous? Yes, but this is what happens when you play for a team whose frustration levels are at an all-time high. As of right now, the Phoenix Suns are paying over $400 million when we account for luxury tax for a roster that is currently not in the play-in game.
That's crazy. They're in the play-in as of now. I believe they're 10th as of today. But, that's crazy. $400 million just for your team to not even be able to make it into the playoffs is way too much money, considering the fact that they have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. But again, I talked about this before in another video. I said it before. Just because you throw a bunch of names together does not mean that your team is going to be just great. Throwing a bunch of names together does not matter. Does the names you put together mesh with each other? Do they work? And if they work, then it'll work. But if they don't, then as you can see, you're going to end up fucking yourself. And paying a bunch of money to these players that may be great individually means nothing because the team as a whole is failing.
Game. The Suns also do not own their own first-round pick outright until 2031, so to call the Bradley Beal trade a disaster would be an understatement. In this video, we are also going to look at 3 other major recent trades and signings: Paul George to Philly, DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans, and of course, Julius Randle to the Timberwolves. But staying in Phoenix, what's up, Mike here, and in trading for Bradley Beal, the Suns made a desperation move when
That's crazy. Look at all that. Wizards made out like bandits, though. Look at the Wizards, dog. They got a lot. They got a lot. And these picks are going to actually turn out to be something good, especially if the Suns played at the rate they play. Pacers seem to be doing okay. So
desperation move did not have to happen. This move also made absolutely no sense at the time. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are both score-first players, simple as that. Bradley Beal is a score-first guard, simple as that. Book is doing his best, averaging a team-high 6.5 assists per game, but just as recently as 2022, the Suns had a winning formula down. Devin Booker finished 4th in the MVP voting, and the Suns won 64 games before Luka Doncic and the Mavs took them out of the playoffs. This led to an overreaction, and when we come to the root of the Suns' problems, it comes down to simple roster construction. In the Durant trade, the Suns lost Mikal Bridges, who was a star defensive wing for them, who played his role well. The Suns didn't want to pay DeAndre Ayton, okay, but their replacement for him, Yusuf Nurkic, currently has both a negative box score plus minus and a negative value over replacement player. KD has shown clear frustrations with Nurkic specifically. But wrapping back to the
they're just breaking down as a team. You never want your teammate to be yelling at you on the court in front of everybody. It just shows dysfunction. Like, sure, your teammate may disagree with something you're doing. Your teammate may have some words for you as far as how you're handling a play or how you're running some shit. But it doesn't mean that your teammate should come up to you and be that verbally aggressive with you. Because if that's going to happen, breakdown immediately. Dysfunctional. People are going to see that. They're going to use that. Teams are going to use that. And it's just sad, bro. The Phoenix Suns, they have enough talent to get over the hump, but this is what I've been saying. When you throw a bunch of names together, it doesn't matter if the talent is great. If they don't work, they don't work. You can't force a triangle to go in the circle hole. As much as you guys may think it can work, because a girl on TikTok did it, it doesn't mean it can work. All right?
Bradley Beal trade, Beal was on the decline heading to Phoenix. In 2022 and 2023, Beal averaged around 23 points a game, and now at the age of 31 for the Suns, he is scoring just 18.2 points per game with 3.1 assists and 3.7 rebounds with a negative box score plus minus, a PER under 15, and a VORP of 0.1. The worst part is the Suns gave away a lot of their future in this trade. So yes, while they do technically still have first round picks, they do not outright own their own pick until 2031, which means if things get awful, they are not going to be able to rebuild with their own players. Have I mentioned Bradley Beal has a player option for $57 million in 2027?
That contract, they gotta get off this contract. They have to get off this contract. They have to get off this contract. The Suns have to figure out a way to get off that contract, but also make Bradley Beal happy, because Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. He has a no-trade clause, and he's not going to waive it for something like the Heat. I'm sorry. I know I've been seeing those rumors. Beal for Butler, I don't think that's going to happen. He's not going to waive it for someone like the Heat. So you got to try to find a way to make Bradley Beal happy while at the same time getting that fucking contract off your books, because it's killing them. It's killing them.
You saw what happened when the Brooklyn Nets went all in on an older Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and traded away their entire future in the process. They watched as Boston took Jaylen Brown, who was last year's NBA Finals MVP. It's very possible Phoenix is on that same path. As for Paul George to the 76ers, this could be just as awful long-term for Philadelphia.
God damn.
Now, at least Philly does own all of their picks outright starting in 2028. That is the good news. The bad news is Paul George is 34 years old and has a player option for over $56.5 million in 2028. Philly started the season 3-14. Things were so bad that they had a players-only meeting, and in this meeting,
Tyrese Maxey challenged Joel Embiid, the face of that franchise, the former league MVP, about his tardiness and about being on time.
Many fans blame Tobias Harris as the reason for Philly's failures. Paul George was supposed to level them up on the wing and take this team to new heights. That has not come close to happening so far.
How you got more podcast episodes than games played? Your podcast, P. You're not playoff P.
That's nasty.
And not the GOAT.
Yes, Philly has suffered through injury problems, but they are now in very dangerous territory.
You
They
got
are
more
13-19 in the
podcast
Eastern Conference,
episodes.
and Paul George's
He's got more podcast episodes than games played. That is that's
production has
nasty
fallen
work.
off of a cliff. Just last season with the Clippers, PG was an all-star and averaged 22.6 points per game on 47.1% shooting. This season, he's averaging 16.3 points per game with similar minutes played on 42.2% shooting. Now, to be fair, things have been getting better. Philly again started the year at 3-14, but have been 10-5 through their last 15 games. They still have plenty of time to make up ground and make the playoffs, but we have to be honest here. Making the playoffs is not the goal. The goal is to win a championship with this core, and we have watched the Cavaliers absolutely dominate to begin the year, and the Boston Celtics are still sitting there as defending reigning NBA champion. With Paul George's current production and the fact that he's making over $50 million a year, he is an untradeable asset at this point, and injuries are only adding up for Joel Embiid. When Embiid is on the court, he does have the talent of an MVP, but just last season, he only played in 39 games, and this season, he's only played in 12. The two bright spots for Philly have been Tyrese Maxey, who just turned 24, and Jared McCain, who went from TikTok dancing sensation.
Jared McCain is funny as hell, bro. Jared McCain is actually one of those players that are very good, and he's corny. Like, he is corny as hell, but he's good as fuck on the court. You can't even hate on that. He's good as fuck on the court.
To Rookie of the Year favorite, but then, unfortunately, suffered a torn meniscus. So really, Philly is completely relying on their big three here to win them a championship in the near future, as Embiid still has a player option for $67 million in 2029. Their salary cap allows for basically no flexibility, and right now, their current team does not look like it's going to be enough, and that a new process might be starting soon. DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans is the most complicated trade on this list.
My conclusion, Paul George to the 76ers, I don't think it's as crazy as Bradley Beal to the Suns, because at least with Paul George to the 76ers, the 76ers have been having issues for years as far as it working, not working, and Joel Embiid being able to help his team get over that hump. The Suns, they just shot themselves in the foot with this one. Like, at least with the 76ers, you can kind of make it make sense. Try to get your team over the hump with Joel Embiid. Try to get that team working. You know, just try to get one more piece. Two-way guard like Paul George. Try to make it work. But Bradley Beal, a shoot-first guard, a bucket getter, that's not what you need. You have two bucket getters. There was no point. There's no reason to get Bradley Beal. At least with Paul George, I could try to make an argument for it, and I can understand it. But with Bradley Beal, there was no point. You just fucking shot yourself in the foot with your salary cap. And now you're stuck with him because he has a no-trade clause. What does that mean? That means he's not going anywhere unless he wants to go. So you got to try to make him happy if you want to trade him. And I don't even know if you can do that, realistically. Let's keep going.
At his best, DeJounte has all-star potential, as in 2022, he was a literal all-star for the Spurs, averaging 21.1 points, 9.2 assists, 8.3 rebounds, and 2 steals per game. Stuff in the stat sheet. Then DeJounte went to the Hawks, where he was not a fit at all with Trae Young, and after that did not work out, he is now on the Pelicans, where again, we have a very imperfect fit, as DeJounte is often the only true playmaker on the court. And while he is a great player, I would not say he is an elite playmaker. The true superstars in the NBA can fit anywhere. DeJounte, though, seems to be more of a possibly great third option on the right team with the right roster around it. The problem is he has not gotten that chance recently at all. When we look at him fairly here, a huge thing that stands out is that last season DeJounte averaged 22.5 points per game, and now he is averaging 15.8 points per game on 36.6% shooting with similar minutes played. There is a lot to still like about his game though, as at the point guard spot he's also averaging 7.5 assists and 6.5 rebounds per game to go along with 2.4 steals. However, the Pelicans are about as awful as you could possibly be, sitting at 5-29, and in order to get DeJounte, they had to give up Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels on the Hawks has quickly become one of the NBA's most underrated young players.
He's been playing well. Here's the thing with the Pelicans, though. I know that, you know, they've been having better seasons, of course. That DeJounte Murray, if we're, like, ranking these, DeJounte Murray as far as being on the, as far as being on, sorry, he just misspelled his name here, so it threw me off. As far as being on the Pelicans, I mean, the Pelicans have been trash for a minute. Their whole Zion Williamson shit they got going on there. And then, I don't know. I like CJ. I do like CJ. And I think he's decent on the team. But it's just, I just don't know if the Pelicans have been making right decisions for a minute. So it's not really shocking to me. Like I said, so far shocking, the Suns. 76ers, I can kind of understand why. Pelicans, I'm not sure if getting DeJounte Murray, God, him misspelling this through me. Getting DeJounte Murray, I don't think that's that big of a deal. That's just my opinion as far as hurting or helping them. I can say it's a bad trade, but I don't know if it's as serious as these first two, with the fucking Bradley Beal being the worst of it.
2025 season so far, Dyson is averaging 12.9 points, 5.1 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and wait for it, 3.1 steals per game. The last player to average over 3 steals per game for an entire season was Alvin Robertson in 1991. And the Atlanta Hawks as a whole have easily been one of the biggest surprise teams in the NBA this season. They are sitting at 18-16 with a starting lineup of 30-year-old Clint Capella, 26-year-old Trae Young, then 23-year-old Jalen Johnson, 21-year-old Dyson, and 19-year-old Zachary Rizache. So while DeJounte Murray is a solid player and is on a great contract, making a little over $30 million a year until 2028. The Hawks got younger here and are better, while the Pelicans are older, worse, and completely missing an identity. Finishing off, the Minnesota Timberwolves took a massive gamble when they traded away Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, along with a first-round pick. Normally, when a team makes the Western Conference with a roster that is still in...
I don't like them giving away DiVincenzo. That's my opinion. I like DiVincenzo. But
contention and a superstar in Anthony Edwards who is only getting closer to his prime, they do not make drastic moves such as this. Last year, Cat was an all-star for Minnesota. He has been their franchise cornerstone for years. This season, he may be an all-star starter for the Knicks in the Eastern Conference as he's averaging 24.9 points, 13.7 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game. Cat is having perhaps the best season of his life in New York, and the Knicks are 24-10 and third in the East.
So this is what I got to say. I don't understand why the hell you would trade Cat for Julius Randle. It makes absolutely no sense to me. DiVincenzo, I liked him on the Knicks, okay? He played well. He's not playing that good this year. I will admit that. I will tell you that up front. He is not playing that good this year. But Cat, why would you trade him for Julius Randle? What the fuck did that nigga do that made you think Randall was going to get you over the hump over Cat? And if you're going to tell me, because I believe they talked about, like, money was the reason, okay, trade other contracts. What do you mean? Randall was the one that's like, oh, you know what, it's money, so let's get Randall and DiVincenzo. And again, the DiVincenzo one, not going to hate on you too much. He's not playing as well in your system. But guess what? You had a guy that played well in your system, Cat. And you got rid of him for what?
While Timberwolves fans have been introduced to what can only be called the Julius Randle experience.
Schroeder didn't want that three. Give it to the hottest warrior. Curry's got another one.
With their offense stand, can they get
The Randall defensive special.
inside?
3 buckets so far. Vucevic, trailer 3.
For the year, Randall is averaging 20.2 points, 7 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game, but he is 30 years old and his numbers across the board have dropped from last season. If you ask a Knicks fan about this, they would laugh and say, what did you expect?
Now Randall.
Well, yeah, it's Julius Randle. Like every Knicks fan would tell you, thank you. I think when this trade happened, there's no way in hell they said anything else but thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for this trade. Thank you. You took Randall off our hands and gave us a very good player in return. Thank you. Like, I don't understand. It just makes no sense to me. You're not rebuilding. You want to win, right? So why wouldn't you get rid of a couple contracts to keep Cat? It makes no sense to get rid of Cat and to get Randall. It's just dumb. It makes no sense.
By Alvarado, then he throws it away. And he hears it from the crowd.
Now, during a 4-game win streak this season, Anthony Edwards did hype up Randall by saying,
Now Julius is playing defense. You know, I've never seen him play defense before. So that's incredible. And he's right here. Put the camera on him. He's gonna guard his ass off.
And almost immediately after this, the Wolves would drop 3 straight games.
That's not good. Your best player is literally sitting there talking about how Julius Randle plays no defense. Your best player is saying, hey, this motherfucker right here, he plays no defense. I'm used to him playing no defense. And I'm shocked he played defense. That's not good. That's never good. That's your best player spewing that shit. Like, that's not good, bro.
In Julius Randle's only 2 playoff runs. In 2021, he averaged 18 points per game on 29.8% shooting. In 2023, 16.6 points a game on 37.4% shooting. You will hear that the Timberwolves had to give up Karl Anthony Towns for salary reasons. In reality, they were avoiding the second apron. They could have kept him, or they could have traded away other salaries to avoid.
I said this. You know why? Because I know ball. I know ball. God damn it.
Avoid that apron. Now, injuries did play a part in some of Julius Randle's playoff struggles. On top of this, Dante DiVincenzo has also not been the player Wolves fans expected. Dante is averaging just 10 points per game and is shooting 38.9% from the field, as his PER, true shooting percentage, win shares per 48 minutes, and box score plus minus are all noticeably down from last season. The instant reaction here is huge win for the Knicks, not great for the Wolves, but in the NBA this early, we know things can change. There's always time for redemption. So comment
Julius Randle redemption? Maybe DiVincenzo, because like I said, he played well last year. Maybe DiVincenzo, but Randle? You think there's going to be a redemption arc for Randle? I don't think
down
so.
below what you think about this trade and about every single deal that was mentioned in this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and turn on post notifications.
Good video. I liked it. I like this creator. I like the video. Like I said, I think the worst out of all of this has to be, as much as Randall's trade was bad, it's the Suns. It's 100% the Suns. I don't understand it. I will not get it. I will never get it. But it was a good video. I appreciate y'all hopping in, listening to me yap, enjoying the content. If you like my content, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, join the channel, join the Discord. Let me know if there's anything you want me to react to, and I will do it. I appreciate the love and support, and peace out, y'all.